Coming at you live with the Digital Climax Kings. It's the Dead on Leprechaun and the Digital Prophet. Leprechaun, I have
Yo,
so
yo,
much on
yo.
my mind. Oh my gosh, today's been overwhelming. The amount of news that I'm receiving from all aspects. It's positive and negative. I don't want to just be, the reign of terror. Things are not looking good, but things are also looking very beautiful on the tech side. Um, I know you have some things to lead off with. I'm not quite ready to articulate what I have to say, so you want to take the mic?
All over it. All right. So let's pull up a little bit of CNN for you. So I just kind of wanted to talk about some of the mainstream stories and how they basically are disconnected from reality. So let's see what they're saying as their top stories. Of course, the Supreme Court Justice nomination is having her hearings. So this would be the first African American Supreme Court Justice nominee to the Supreme Court in its entire life. So it's interesting to see how this is going to go as far as will Republicans also back this and will she be a bipartisan vote or will this be something that Kamala Harris has to go do a tie-breaking vote on? And essentially, are we going to get the version of cooperation that we sometimes see when they make these deals, or is this going to be one of those times where the U.S. or the Democrats are going to take the U.S. as their own and do as they see fit with the small amount of time they have left before midterm elections? And I think that they're fully anticipating getting slaughtered. So this would be their only time to get a Supreme Court on the court with a Democrat House, Senate, and President, and they are not wasting any time.
Interesting, Leprechaun. I'm going to come back at you with the trailer park perspective because everything you said is jargon to me. I've grown up in poverty. I have no idea what you just said, but all I see is a black woman that they are using to, I don't know, maybe satisfy us from the fact that World War III is breaking out. I mean, I have black family, I have lots of black friends, but there's something about this. I was at the YMCA earlier. I saw it on all the TVs. It's all it was showing while I was working out, and I thought it was weird. Why are they just showing something about an African American black lady being voted into something while major things are happening that are going to affect all of our lives? Just made me question it. I know the news is owned by the people that are going to war. We can talk about that later, but it just has me kind of anxiety.
Yeah, and I think the reason that they're showing her on her hearings and making a big deal about it, instead of fake it till you make it, it's fake it till
Hmm.
they don't make it. I think it's just they need to keep this going as long as they can until people just rebel at gas prices,
Well,
inflation.
here's my question. Why would they have this as the centerpiece of news while everything we know is going on?
Because they don't want to report on stories. They want to report on something that will be obviously an accomplishment for Democrats. And it's just a resume builder. It's not a real accomplishment, in my opinion. I don't think she's a bad person based on the limited knowledge I have about her, but I
Hmm.
do have some concerns. But I don't think she will be any worse than the justice she's replacing, Justice Breyer, who is pretty hardcore left wing, and it'll be interesting. I just think that they want to tote this as an accomplishment, because there's like only three things Biden's ever done that didn't, make things 10 times worse. And I think they're looking at this as one of them.
Okay, I get what you're saying, but I'm coming at this perspective from somebody that has no idea about politics. All we are seeing is a black lady is elected as a high official amidst World War III cracking off. I mean, The things we need to see on the news, I believe, are the fertilizer shortages, the sanctions, because fertilizer is what creates food, and we are about to plant food in North America. This is the season. We are about to plant food, fertilizer.
You're not wrong. They don't want to talk about that story. They don't want to come near it with a 10-foot pole because they know that it could cause panic. I mean, I think we're really
Ooh, good point. Panic.
we're
That's
at that.
why.
Yeah, we're at the crossroads now where so much stuff is coming down that I think that we're looking at what you would call a controlled collapse.
Ooh, that's a good term. Controlled collapse. And it's very obvious if you really look at it. I mean, come on.
Yeah.
Like, I watch like interviews. I'm a big interview guy. So when you watch the interviews with our official leaders and then the leaders of our opposition, I mean, come on. Leprechaun, like, what's going on?
Well, the party constantly leaves people behind. Like Tulsi Gabbard is not a high-ranking Democrat, but she's come out against some parts of the war and whatnot, and they've even ostracized her. So, like, they don't care what part of, even though she has experience, she's been in the military, she has actual, tangible experience of that it sucks to have your friends get blown up beside you, so she has a taste of what real war could look like, and
Yeah.
they want to keep her as far away from them as possible because it really overshadows everything. Like people.
Point is, she's like a loaded gun, I guess you'd say.
Maybe, but I think it just shows that the Democrat Party will leave everyone behind at some point. Like the leftists,
Ooh,
it's
okay.
just a matter of time until you have the wrong position, and then you're
Mhm.
gone too. Like they'll sit and they'll point out like
Like
Joe Rogan.
Afghanistan.
Yeah, but even like going back to the Joe Rogan thing, the way that they just went after
Mhm.
him, Dave Chappelle. I mean, you name it.
It was
Even
a witch hunt.
yep,
Not
even
gonna
if even
lie.
if they support Black Lives Matter, which Chappelle did, and even if they do some of these things that the left is so desperately wants, for racial equity, change, whatever you want to call it, like so they're willing to leave anybody by the side of the road in their own party. So I think what that means to the common person is that they think less of you than they do like insects crawling on the ground.
Ooh, that's a pretty good way to put it. Are you familiar with the Hopi prophecies? Like the Hopi Indian prophecies?
Mm-mm.
Well, they've been around for a while, and they have a saying that like a bug would come with dotted lines and conquer the land. A bug would come.
Weird.
Hmm. And then it would like be annihilated. Well,
And then what you were touching on earlier is just to read the headlines off of my Apple phone to see what the propaganda machine is spooling out to us today.
oh, okay.
Of course, top story is your Supreme Court Justice Day 2, Judge Jackson's confirmation hearing. Yawn.
Yawn.
White House press secretary has COVID.
Ooh.
Biden tests negative. Yeah, right.
Ooh.
Opinion. Mitt Romney's refusal to endorse Mike Lee is a betrayal of his party. There's that other.
He's still relevant? What?
Yeah. Yep.
What?
Stormy Daniels must pay $300K or $300K to Donald Trump after losing defamation case appeal. So you got that. And then when TikTok trends turn deadly. So must be kids eating Tide Pods 2.0.
You've seen Idiocracy, right?
Yeah.
You see it playing out, correct?
Dude, it's a never ending. It's
if you
amazing.
haven't seen Idiocracy, watch it now, and you'll already know how it ends. We got a gung-ho black president. What is his name? I forgot.
It's like that movie. I forget what it's called. The one that just came out on Netflix. till the end or this is the end or something. It's actually a
Uh-huh.
pretty funny movie. If you like
Is
movies
it a
like that.
series?
No, it's just a movie. It's got Leonardo
Okay.
DiCaprio in it and a
Oh.
couple other ones. The chica that played the Hunger Games. I forget what her name
Is
is,
it
but
the one about the meteors?
yeah, yeah,
Look
yeah.
up or whatever?
Yeah, Don't Look Up.
Oh,
That's it.
yeah,
That's
I
it.
saw
Yeah.
that. I saw it. It's
Yeah.
good. It's good.
Yeah.
It's
It's
really
a good
good.
movie, dude. It's a good
It
laugh.
is.
It's a good laugh.
Yeah. I liked it. I like how they made it like super satire, but like kind of, it's real, but it's satire. I love it.
Yeah, and
Because
they
that's
poked
like life.
well, and they poked fun at everybody, dude.
Yeah, like
It was
nobody was off limits. That was
yeah,
cool.
it was
That was
super
cool.
refreshing. Yeah, I agree.
Mm-hmm. Mm-hmm.
But yeah,
Good
I mean,
times.
yeah, that's exactly what we're seeing play out every day now. It's just who can come up with a headline that's the most absolutely egregious, to get clicks.
Exactly. Well, there's a quote I've savored. I can't remember who said it, but it was like the gist of it was like the most smartest people I know are focused on getting people to click on things. That was like the gist of it. And it was by a Facebook employee. And that's like the name of the game, like headlines, clickbait, thumbnails. And that's what we're all attracted to. So, like, you are like, there's a saying, your tribe is your vibe or whatever. So, whatever you click on, that's what your algorithm is going to start to spin. So, how can we maybe like create a super positive algorithm? That'd be dope, little
Some
idea.
companies are starting to toy with that. I think
Well,
even the
TikTok
company.
does that.
Yeah, and I mean some companies like Gab and there's a few others that basically have no algorithm. So they have it's just
Mm.
based on what the trends are. So like if
I
you
heard
mix
Twitch was kind of like that. Like you go to the home page and it's like not really an algo. It's just like whoever's popular. Kind of like MySpace maybe back in the day.
yeah, a little bit like a phone book in the beginning where
Yeah, phone book.
yeah, if anybody even knows what that is.
Remember phone books? Paper. They had numbers written in them.
Fallacies.
the like what we would call scrolls. The
Yeah.
scrolls.
Dead Sea Scrolls.
Yeah. The USA scrolls.
Yeah, it's crazy.
That's funny.
Mm-hmm. So I guess as far as stories go, there's no, like you said, there's no shortage in Ukraine or Russia. I mean, we can talk about more stuff on CNN, but like you
Well,
said,
here's a question. Everybody's talking about that, but what else is going on? Like, what's going on behind that?
I would say the biggest thing that's going on behind that is, well, the Supreme Court is sitting on a few fairly big cases, one surrounding abortion, one surrounding
Ooh,
Second Amendment
okay,
rights as it
okay.
relates to concealed carry permits.
Uh-huh.
So it'll be interesting to see how that changes the dynamic when those decisions do come out because they've been a long time coming. So
Exactly. My point being that whenever there's like a cloud of war, people like to do things, under the cover of that. So maybe that's something that would be interesting to speculate upon or spotlight. Like, hey, while they're doing this, this is what's going on over here.
yep,
And there's going to be a lot of that, especially with the money, with the crypto, like the way people are just transferring billions of dollars in these NFTs, non fungible tokens, which is basically just a database. Leprechaun, all an NFT is a database that you have private rights to. Like, what's so special about that? Nothing except the fact that these people are hyperinflating the fact that it might be important. Like, it could all crash tomorrow. That's how like fake this market really is, the NFT market.
well,
It's a facade.
I was listening to a story today that was probably one of the more terrifying things. I think I passed it along to you, but a gentleman was talking about the fact that if they they being the government do
Mm-hmm.
actually come up with their own version of crypto and start to compete with Bitcoin and some of the other altcoins out there. Like, what would we do if they just straight up canceled all cash? Like, said you have a date to turn it in by, like they did with gold. So there is some history behind this. Like, what if they say all notes have to be turned in by this date? Otherwise, they're worth 50% for another month, and then they're worth 25%, and then down to zero. So because really that's the only way to fix the problems that they've created with inflation.
Well, that's the question I've been asking Agent X over and over. How are they going to do the transition?
I think you just find out one day, like you did with gold, that they signed a bill and you got X amount of time to turn in all your notes. And if you don't, they just become, nothing. They're just like anything else. Like you said, they gave it, they can take it away.
Well, we continually hear about the digital dollar. So, in my mind, what happens is, let's just say you have like 100K in the bank. What's going to happen is they will do the transfer, like the migration for you, maybe,
Yeah.
and then like issue you a way to collect it. But I don't know, because people like that would take a lot of training, because it's hands-on almost, like even if it just involves pushing a button on your phone, that is going to take training. I've been in the general public when I have to set up like internet and stuff, and it is hard. It's not
Yeah.
easy. It's
Well,
not easy.
And there's not a whole lot of good information on new tech a lot of times. So you're just
True. Everybody is confused. Like even I'm confused. Like when new tech rolls out, it's like, whoa, how do you do it? Oh, then once you realize it, it makes sense. But there's that learning curve.
That's because you're a boomer.
Boomers. It's that boomer mentality. Well, that's the other thing. I'm trying to figure out ways to articulate this better to not necessarily boomers, because there's a certain point where you just give up.
Yeah.
But
No,
like my
100%.
actual like peer folk, like, okay, it is. I'm finding out that it's easier to just experience and learn than try to explain, and I'm still having a hard time with that.
And I think that you're right in that, there are some things that traditional college is good for, like as far as like if you want to be a doctor, if you want to be a lawyer, if you need something that requires a certificate and experience that is not obtainable from watching YouTube videos, that's one thing. But I think what you're seeing, especially with this, everybody trying to get their student loan debt canceled, as far as, and Biden promised to do something with it. I just really stomach, the fact that I think most college classes are kind of obsolete, like.
Well, I was just gonna say, you said YouTube real like, loosely, but you can learn more probably from YouTube if you know the right search terms than an actual college class these days, depending on the subject, of course.
Well, yeah, and I mean, there's always going to be exceptions, but
yeah,
but tech is probably the best example of this. Like, you're not going to go. You're not going to go to
because
Harvard.
tech's always advanced. Like, dude, the tech that I know today is gonna already be advanced like in a week. Everything I know regarding something is gonna be amended next week with some other smart guy from like India.
Yeah,
it's fast.
And you're not wrong. I've got a degree for graphic design that I got back in 2002, and I can tell you exactly how valuable it is. Not at all. Because it's obsolete. The stuff I picked up along the way since that happened.
How much did you pay for that degree?
I didn't pay anything.
From 2002?
Yeah, I just I did classes through my high school, and we were able to.
Well, okay, let's just say like that was probably worth. Like at that time, what would somebody have to pay to get that education?
Back then, you're probably looking at a few thousand.
Okay, so point is a few $1,000s worth of education then to learn, what was it, just like basics of Photoshop?
Photo. It was graphic design, so there was
Yeah,
like
exactly.
web editing, basic stuff. A lot of running programs. They'd give you like
Which at the time would have got you some work and,
yeah,
probably built a foundation to build on. But nowadays, like that education is freely available.
well, and it's better. Like
And
the
then it's better,
education.
yeah.
Yeah, I mean, and to be honest, a lot of the education, the curriculum that I did, a lot of the times I would have a program or a idea that was better than the way that they were teaching, and my teachers would honestly like
Mm.
learn from me, the better ways to like edit this or do something with that. Like it's just so interesting how we changed. Like I almost feel like tech is one of those things where you just have to go to a technical school, like a vocational school, that's going to give you on the job training because that's really all that matters.
Actually, can I stop you right there in your
Yeah.
tracks? Because I've been talking to my buddy in Zimbabwe who he's like early 20s and he has I think a degree in like C plus, but I'm trying to tell him like Solidity, which is a language which is like built on the crypto stuff, and then JavaScript is the way to go. And he's like, okay, how do we go? How do we start? And I said, like, let's learn together. So maybe we could include that as a segment, like maybe a coding segment,
Yeah. And
tech segment
actually,
or something.
I just wanted to jump into a comment that we got on our video. We got a
Oh, okay.
we got a viewer, and he submitted a kind of a comment, not necessarily a question, but he said, "Except for some tech niche studies, I'm surprised we hunting for a certificate here, old XUL system, while other countries basing online lessons."
Ooh.
So I would
So what do you
agree with
take
that.
out of that? What do you
No, I
take
would
from that?
agree. I think that there are some variables obviously in all the fields, but I think by and large that's true, that there are some
Well,
niches, but
here's the thing, Leprechaun. Right now in 2022, the way that like technology has evolved, what we're doing is like we already have libraries that we can pull from with information. So imagine that's like a bunch of tools. So we have a tool gallery that any developer at any time from any part of the world using GitHub can pull from. And then we can take these tools and re-engineer like a new app, Aratus, and deploy it. Like we're fully capable of that. All I want to do is create like a group of like-minded people that know how to use this technology and then like maybe like build off of it. That's why I'm looking for like artists and musicians, people that have like artistic skills because I already know how to make it digital where we can, turn it into NFTs or cryptocurrency, whatever. Like take all those like confusing names out of the headline and we can do some pretty cool stuff with the talent that we could derive. Does that make sense?
it does. And I just wanted to point out one example of this being true is the
Mm-hmm.
Roblox. Like my kids play this
Oh,
program,
good point. Mm-hmm.
and they, instead of paying people to program to develop new games, they
Yeah.
actually give incentives, which is kind of like children's slave labor, but
Woo!
they give out the Roblox
No,
token
yeah. Yeah,
as
yeah,
their
yeah.
currency to kids for developing new games and new plugins.
So like
And
your kids are enslaving other kids on
yeah, yeah,
Roblox?
yeah, for real, for real.
That's so awesome.
Yeah, my one
But
daughter,
no, that's exactly what I'm talking about. Like exemplifying life through like visual gameplay.
yeah, and that's exactly what they do is they watch somebody else
Mm-hmm.
build a house on a YouTube video, and then they
Mm-hmm.
go and they do basically the same thing, but they make it better, and then
Yeah.
they charge their friends to decorate their house like that.
Dude, that's so funny you said that because like a couple years ago, my niece, who was probably like 10 at the time, she's like, Uncle, go on Roblox. So I did. And then she picked me up like in her car, like on a Roblox scene. And then we went to a taco shop. She's like, what do you want to do? I was like, eat tacos. So we went to her friend's taco station and she bought me a taco. And then she showed me her whole bathroom, like that she designed. Like an artistic designer. I was like, Chloe, you're 12. How the hell did you, or not even 12 at the time. She was probably like 10. It's like, how did you do this? And it's just, they're smart, you know.
Well, and like I feel bad for the parents that have tried to keep their kids away from technology because COVID forced everyone on a computer doing distance learning, and then all of a sudden the
Mm,
kids that were, being held away from TV and tech now had to use it or not even participate in school. They would have to be homeschooled or whatever. But I just think
mm-hmm,
is this whole thing is kind of funny in a way because we're almost come full circle where now the noobs, people that are not video game designers are having an input and a say in what the developing world of the Roblox game looks like, and they're creating new games, they're creating new stuff, items, NFTs. I mean, essentially, they're like the original NFT maker, really.
yes, that was my point. I wanted to make a point that besides all the like rigmarole linguistics, what's happening is amazing. It's hard to ascribe to any particular like thing, but what's happening is art and value and camaraderie is all like coming together. That's
Mm-hmm.
why a Bored Ape Yacht Club card is worth $350,000, dog. And that shit was created less than a year ago. That's a derivative that just became nothing. Like these dudes created a derivative worth billions of dollars out of nothing. That's magic.
It's
And
mind blowing.
that's what's happening in the real world while everything like just happens. Isn't it interesting?
It's unbelievable how, like I said, how the world has changed just in a few years. Like 5 years ago, I don't even think people would have been ready for what's here now. But they're actually, the kids are obviously the most compatible with constant change, and they're
How attuned are they though? How attuned are your kids right now? Like NFTs and all that.
I mean, they understand the basic concept that things in the game can be worth a lot of money if they're rare. So, I'm
Rarity.
yeah,
Rarity is
and
a
I mean, there's items in that game, all the games actually, but Adopt Me is one of the oldest ones that they play, and there are items in that game that go for over $500.
hmm.
You can buy them on eBay.
Leprechaun, I just noticed we have like 3 minutes left, and I feel like we just kind of let this one roll. Do you have anything very imperative to say in the last 3 minutes?
Uh, just kind of hammering the white pill again. I'll spend 30 seconds on that, and
No, take all the time.
so there's a company out there, and I think that medication shortages are going to be the
Hmm.
Achilles heel. And I'm trying to bring up a different topic every time we talk about,
Oh, yeah. Keep
all
it
these.
fresh. This is all experimental. Nobody's watching this.
We got one viewer. We got one viewer.
Yay, we
So,
got one viewer. Yay.
but there's a company called Jace Medical, and what they do
Hmm.
is they make basically a kit that you can buy that contains all of the life-saving antibiotics that are so
Hmm.
hard to get, because obviously here in America everything is by prescription. So if you wanted to get, like the prescription for every single um, antibiotic that you might need in a crisis situation, you might
Oops.
be you might be having a tough time with that. So I just want to pull up
Ooh.
their website. So they sell it's not cheap, but they sell life-saving medications, and they kind of do it under the guise for natural
Okay, can
disaster,
I stop you
pandemic,
real quick?
foreign travel, outdoor adventure. Yeah, yeah.
Whatever this involves, what do people need to stock up on that like involves this? Because you're not going to be able to get it. like it's gonna be shut off.
Yeah. So if you're in America or Canada, you basically go in and put the information in, and for a couple $100, you're able to get all the prescriptions, as you can see on screen, you know, at once. So instead of having to do a telehealth with your doctor, 7 different times to get all these meds, all these antibiotics, you do one visit for the cost of $259, or for Canadians, it's $435. But you get, it looks like 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7 different medications that would be basically worth their weight in gold. When they're not being, if they're not being delivered, if they're not available. So I just think this is one of those really cool things that you could do to protect yourself in the event that you need medications and you don't have any other options. So if you want to prepare, it's something to think about, because obviously antibiotics have changed the world, and a lot of people survive simply because they have them.
Mm-hmm.
That's what I got. That's your white pill. There's still time to prepare. Get your meds now.
I'm still watching the forecast. It's not looking good.
Yeah, we got ice and snow here in Minnesota today.
Oofta.
Yep. Canceled all the after school activities, and it's interesting. That's what I was really hoping for. Yeah.
Okay.
Oh, no. We're live. We're live, baby.
This says
right.
31.
Yeah, we're going to the end. We're gonna go till she runs out.
Woo!
I just wanted to thank looks like Mubasi Live for joining us today.
Yeah. Oh, he did?
Yeah.
Zimbabwe in the house. Zimbabwe in the house.
He's been chatting it up, so I wanted to give
Shut up.
No, I wanted to give him his 10 seconds of fame before you cut him down. So
heck yeah. Bro, okay, I'm in the dark. I don't even see the chat. Like, where do I find that?
Boomer, you got to go pull up another window.
I'm totally booming it. I got private chat and like, oh, there he is.
Yeah, see?
I've been sleeping on this.
I wasn't going to let you sign off without saying hi.
That's hilarious. Dude, that's our... Dude, this guy's gonna be like the major thing in about 20 years. Trust me. 20 years, Mbosi, he's like better than anything we've ever seen. Ever. Well,
we got to get him on as a guest. Hopefully he's got the ability.
I've been trying to soften him up for that. He speaks English, but it's like Zimbabwe English.
It's all right.
It's a good English. It's a pure English.
All right. Signing off for real this time. Thanks, guys. We'll see you tomorrow at 3 Digital Climax.